painting today. I just finished a piece that I'm going to show in just a second. I just put on a gloss coat with this gloss gel medium from the Artist Loft. I rarely use this, but I've been seeing it on some YouTube shorts recently, and uh, it makes it look really nice and shiny. Now, I didn't want my whole piece to look shiny. I just wanted like the actual cassette tape and like the actual cassette tape here and the case that the cassette tape comes in to be shiny, so you can see when I do that. And then also the label, like the insert for it. So yeah, so you can see if I tilt it like that, you can see the tape is shiny, the case is shiny, and the insert is shiny. With the insert, I did a crosshatch pattern to make it less shiny, and the tape and the case, I did it parallel, and I did a couple of coats to make it more shiny. And I am done. I'm letting it dry. I'm just setting it right there. And then yesterday, I started this one. So we'll go ahead and keep painting this today. So this one I wanted to have a little bit more fun with it. The other one is for a gallery that I'm going to be in. And this one is just for fun. I might put it in a gallery another time. There's a member show coming up, or I might do it for an art auction that I'm part of, or something. I'm not decided yet. Or maybe if things keep going well with YouTube, maybe I'll actually sell it on YouTube or on an Etsy if I get my Etsy up. So I'm gonna get started. Is this? I feel like it's a little fuzzy. Alright, so this one I wanted to do black, and maybe eventually I'm going to do some, like, something a little bit more fun than just acrylic paint. I might put some glitter on it, or iridescent, or something. But today we're actually just going to be working on the background. The background I have here is, right now it's not actually black, but it is this color. So this is the paint that I mixed yesterday. So it's actually like some of this color and some of this color, which is not actually black, as you can see. This is black. Well, you won't be able to see that because of the case, but like, that's black. And then those are gray. But it looks black on here, and I'm going to continue painting on that. I'm going to do some layering and just to make it look a little bit more interesting. I like painting backgrounds quite a bit. I'm probably going to use a lot of these lighter colors and even some of these. And then I probably will stop before I start doing the cassette tape. It's a nice day today. How's everyone doing? It's like in the 40s today, which is nice. So let me, whoops. I can't tell if I'm really zoomed in. Oh no, you know what I did is I accidentally flipped it. So let me fix this. Okay, there we go. Now that's really zoomed in. Okay, here we go. This is Just some technical difficulties. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to start painting now. Here's my palette. I'm going to put it right there. Actually, I might put it behind so I can actually reach my painting. And I'm just going to get started. Does anyone have any questions about painting or what I'm using or anything like that? I'm actually going to look through my book here and see if there's a subject I want to talk about. Or I can talk about just painting itself. No, there's nothing on my list. I already talked about everything basically. All right, so I'm going to just get started. So what I usually do when I paint the base layer, I'm going to come back and I'm going to paint the cassette tape in a little bit, but it is okay if I go over this because I can see the line of demarcation now, and also I have all my stencils. So I can always go back and put this stencil on when I'm ready to do the cassette tape and paint it a different color. But I'm just going to leave it, this is just the canvas right now. So I'm going to start with doing another layer of the darker black color. Because I want to have a nice base so that when I put the other colors on, I'm not just doing it dry. So I don't know much about painting. I'm pretty much self-taught from experience and trying things out. So what I do know is that Bob Ross did oil painting, wet on wet technique, which I guess that's what I'm doing here. Because if I was just doing, right now what I'm doing is dry, wet on dry, because I let the original layer dry overnight. But because he was able to do wet on wet, that's how he was able to just film it in real time in the half-hour slot that he had. Now, I have never, I tried oil painting once and I was like, this is gross and it doesn't dry and that confuses me. So I didn't ever, end up going after trying oil paints, which, acrylic paints and even starting off with paints that are crazy colors, that is so much more me than starting off with the red, the cadmium red and whatever, the yellow and the ultramarine and whatever, and then mixing all your palette from that. That's not me. I like to start off with candy cane pink, candy, cotton candy pink and sky blue and stuff like that, and then mix my palette off of that. And that is just what I like to do. It's what I enjoy, and it is the art that I have to give. Other people already can paint well that way, and I would have nothing to add to it because I don't enjoy it. I don't have the desire to continue to create that way. But I do have the desire to spend however long mixing paint. And so I'm going to keep doing that. So you can already see that as I'm putting it on, even as it's drying a little bit, it is drying darker, and that's totally okay. So I got more of this warmer purple leaning black, black. It's a gray or like a really, really dark purple, I guess, but like it's going to read as black, and that's what I have farther away from the cassette tape. And I'm going to go in with this teal black and go in closer to the cassette tape. And then that'll do a couple of things. One is it'll have like a little bit of a gradation, which is nice. And then two is when I do the cassette tape, if I keep the cassette tape a little bit warmer, it's going to stand out against the cooler toned black gray that I'm using here. And then if I do like kind of like pink or like warmer tones emanating out of the cassette tape, which is my plan, it's going to meet this part of the background more, and yeah, it'll just stand out and it'll be fun. So that is my vision for this cassette tape piece. And the other cassette tape that I have, the one that I showed at the start of this, it is more of a like candy pastel. Like it has like it's more like 90s coded. It is leaning into the imagery of the cassette tape, and it has like folded up notes that you would pass in class, and like trying to get at the nostalgia of it all. This is going to be more poppy and like more for the art of it and the fun of the colors and the fun of like I said, maybe I'll do the iridescence, maybe I'll do like some some actual glitter, maybe I'll do like some more neon or more uh brighter colors, I guess. Like more contrast between the actual cassette tape and the background. So I am excited to do that. So even though I'm doing the differences in the gradation from like some warmer to the cooler black here, I am still going to be covering up a lot of it with different parts of the um, like these different colors here to make the background a little bit more interesting. Alright, so I have these purples that are still fairly dark. Let's put some on there so you can see. There's some good contrast there. Not great contrast. There's like just a little bit of contrast there. But you can see how it's different from the just regular dark that I just put on. Then I have like even this brighter one. So like I'm just going to go ahead and paint it on here. So I have that and I have that. So they're pretty close, but you can see how this one pops out from the black a little bit more than this one. And then I have this one, which is going to pop out the most from the background. So those are things that I'm going to think about. And then probably at the very end, I'm going to do a little bit of that orange, which is going to be the biggest. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean my brush. And then utilize the water to kind of spread that out a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and start putting some basically splotches like I just did with those colors. And we'll start with the darkest one. And so mostly I've been going like this, just in this direction, but now instead I want to go from the center outward, like that. And like just putting it on kind of haphazardly on purpose, and then going back and kind of spreading it out. So usually, or oftentimes at this step, I will do more of a crosshatch pattern, and I probably am still going to do that. Kind of like go in and do some like this. But I'm gonna focus on making it look like it's like emanating from the cassette tape a little bit. Hello, thanks for joining. So you can see how it still looks black in the background, but it's like starting to have a little bit more dimension. Now I'm going to go in with this lighter one and do the same thing, but have a lighter hand. Not even a lighter hand, but like just don't put it on as much of the surface. Alright, and then after that I'm gonna clean my brush again. And then this water that I'm using is real dark because I washed my brush with it before. I might even change to a different brush, like this one. Yeah, I think I will. So if I change to this brush, it has, like, this is nice and tight and flat. This is less flat and it's longer, and it doesn't have like that distinct line like this one. So it's going to give a little bit of a different texture than this one did. So I'm going to first do it dry because I have the opportunity to do it dry right now without putting my brush in there. Alright, and then I'm going to test out doing it with a little bit of water on my brush and then see if I like how that looks. Because sometimes it blends it too much and then I lose a lot of like brush strokes. But this is, again, it's still like the early stages of this painting, so we can always go back and do more brush strokes later. I just want to make sure that the colors are all there. Okay. So I'm not doing as much with the wet brush. That looks good. I mean, it's still, like, I always am like, does this look any different at all from what I painted before? But it definitely, it does, right? It has to. Okay, now I'm gonna go with the because I definitely want to put some of this lighter pink in, but not that much. So I want to like tap out a lot of my brush and make sure that these streaks kind of go all the way to the edge. And then on some of them, I'm actually going to get some of the orange on just part of my brush, like just that little tip. Can you see that? Like that. So I have like mostly that lighter pink color and then a little of the orange. So I think I'll do like some sort of like maybe stars or something in the background at the end. Or maybe I'll do it on the cassette also. When my niece was here, we watched all three Pitch Perfect movies. So to make up for when Pitch Perfect 3 came out, my sister asked me, like, is that too, like, is she too young to watch this? And I was like, maybe. And she was 9 when it came out, and she's 16 now. And I was like, well, she told me that that's why she never saw Pitch Perfect 3. And I was like, oh, well, you're old enough now. You can definitely you can watch whatever you want. And so we watched all three of them, and I was like kind of paying attention to see if like maybe was she too young when she was 9? And then I was like, okay, yeah, this is pretty violent, so that's probably why I said she was maybe too young. But I'm glad I got to make that up with to her. I don't know which one's my favorite. I think probably Pitch Perfect 2 is my favorite, which is weird. It might actually be the worst one, but I definitely like I remember watching that one. Like that is the one that I think about the most, I think. Like when you mentioned Pitch Perfect, I'm like, "Oh, okay." I kind of thought that a lot of the stuff that happened in Pitch Perfect 2 happened in Pitch Perfect 3, like, and then I was really surprised when like everything that I had remembered from Pitch Perfect 2 from Pitch Perfect 3 actually happened in Pitch Perfect 2, and I kind of forgot what had happened in Pitch Perfect 3. But then when I watched it again, I remembered most of it, like the stuff with Amy's dad and stuff. Um, but I was really happy with it. I think it's a like really great movie or a great movie franchise. I actually watched it with my husband in the hotel at our honeymoon, so that was really really fun. It was one of the first movies that we watched, Pitch Perfect 2, that we watched when we got back together. Alright, I think for the background, I'm gonna stop there. Like, I still have a lot more that I want to do, but like that's where I can kind of stop for now. And now to do the middle part, I want to make it black, black, like actually just black. But I have this black, acrylic black, and then I have this black from Stuart Semple, which is like really dark. I actually have black 4.0, which I could use, but I don't I don't need that because I'm actually going to be putting stuff on top of it. So it's going to get rid of a lot of the matteness anyway. So I just want to start off with like a nice dark black so I can do some layers. So let's switch gears to that. And I'm gonna actually go wash my brushes, so I'll be right back. But I because I want to start with like a very, very black base here. I don't want to have any of this other color that I have on my brushes right now. So I'm going to just wash those and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I'm here. Anyone here a fan of Simply Nailogical? Well, I've been watching her for a long time, since before Polish Mountain, and she loves hollow and iridescence, and mostly holographic, but she also really loves iridescence. And both of those, holographic and iridescence, they stand out the most when they are put on top of a nice dark black. So that's what I'm starting off with here, because eventually I'll put some like glitter or something over this black. So I have my black there, and to make it even blacker, I'm going to put in some of this powder. And then just a little bit of this base. To help it even out like the amount of powder that I put in, so that it's not too thick. But thick is not bad when you're doing stencils. It is helpful. Okay, now I'm going to just go ahead and paint the inner part of the cassette tape with this black, and we'll see how it looks against it after I remove the stencil. When you do stencils, it's nice to stipple like this, go up and down perpendicular to your canvas, and that way it won't like accidentally seep under. But in this case I might not mind that. I'm actually a little bit misaligned. Alright, let's try that. Yeah, so if you stipple it, it's going to look like that, but if you keep on going over it, then it'll start to fill in all the little... My teacher in elementary school used to call those holidays. When you're painting and there are little spots that got left, those are when the paint went on a holiday. So you want to go back and fill all those in. So here you can see it, like, if I just do one stipple, it's not going to fill it in enough, but if you keep on stippling it, it will. Okay, now I can get rid of this. Alright, so I was misaligned here a little bit. I wonder if I was misaligned with the first stencil that I did. I'm just going to go back and do this part. Put that to the side, and then make sure I cover up all the holidays. I'm gonna come back and do it with different colors and do lots of outlines and stuff, so it's okay if there's a little bit of wonkiness around the outside right now, but I want to make sure that there's no blank canvas showing through. Because I often don't mind when I'm doing stenciling work to have like things be misaligned a little bit, have a little bit of white showing, but I don't want the white to be blank canvas. I want the white to be white paint. And in this case, I will probably have some black paint showing through in a lot of places. But you see how this black, even though that looked black a second ago, this black is much blacker. And that's what I'm going to start off with for the actual cassette tape. But I promise you, this is looking very boring right now, but I promise you that once I get putting some other things on here, it's going to be a lot more interesting. Alright, let me see. How long have I been doing this? For a little bit more than half an hour. So I am happy with leaving this here right now. Like this. I know this is really anticlimactic to end it like this right now because it's just looking very dark. But I'm going to... But this is my truth. This is what happened. This is my stopping point for today. I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to come back to it with some more interesting colors another day. And I will probably go for a walk now. So thank you so much for watching today. I have been having a lot of fun painting lately. It's been a while since I've really painted like this, so getting back into it is really, really fun for me, and I'm really enjoying being in the galleries. I haven't sold a piece yet, but I am really hopeful for this next gallery showing that I'm going to be in. So thank you so much for watching my process. I will see you next time. Bye!